Hi, and welcome to Comedy Recapped. Today we're going to be looking at the 1990 comedy film titled Ski School. Watch out, spoilers ahead. The movie starts with fireworks, snow, and a party scene, as ski school students await a major ski competition in the near future. Reed Janssens, the best skier at ski school, comes to take his girlfriend Paulette from the party. They run into Dave Marshak, and they aren't so friendly to each other, as Reed threatens Dave that it would be his last year in ski school. Reed makes it clear that he believes Dave would fail at the competition with his tacky teammates. The next day, a fine young man, John Rowland, registers for ski school. He meets Reed and asks for permission to ski with his team since they were the best at ski school. Reed arrogantly refuses and ignores the letter of recommendation John shows to him. Instead, he assigns John to another team tagged Section 8, which is Dave Marshak's team. The next day is the ski individual and team competition. Reed Janssens, of course, comes in first place, while John Rowland gives an awesome performance and comes in second. Reed is seen pissed off with his teammates over their poor performance at the competition. He also becomes very protective of Paulette as Fitz tries to flirt with her. They have another party that evening. Dave and his teammates, John, Ed, and Fitz, are super excited to attend, but when they arrive, they're somewhat disappointed about the nature of the party, as it wasn't as bubbly and noisy as they expected it to be. Ed then sneaks into the audio and visual room, messes with the lights, and changes the music. Reed is pissed and locates Ed, who is quickly thrown out of the party. Ed meets Dave and Fitz outside, and they plan to get revenge by sabotaging Reed's party. They set up Reed's teammates, Eric and Derek, by using Lori, who apparently has a crush on Johnny. Eric and Derek have been seen flirting with Lori, so Lori takes advantage of this and seduces both of them, pranking them into meeting in the same bedroom. At the party, Reed talks and brags about his film, which he is ready to show at the party. He pays little attention to Paulette, who complains to him, but he still doesn't listen to her and is really excited about his film. Unknown to him, his film has already been sabotaged by Dave's team. Rather, an edited video of Eric and Derek sharing sexual advances surfaces. The video also shows Eric and Derek meeting up in the same bedroom. However, they both run away when they realize it's not Lori. This embarrassment infuriates Reed, and he defends them, saying his teammates are not those kind of guys. He then immediately chases Dave and his team out of the party. To top it off, John and Lori go to a room and make out. The next day, Reed talks to Derek, telling him not to worry about what had happened the previous night, as he had arranged some ladies for Derek to get some action. Reed is also seen talking to Mr. Bryce, who tells him about the importance of him taking over the business of the mountains, and for that, he had to win the skiing competition. They also talk about eliminating Dave from the competition. Next, we see Dave talking about the mountain being in trouble with Fitz. Fitz suggests that both of them carry out subliminal hypnosis on the rest of their teammates to help them win more games. They begin by hypnotizing John. The next day at the competition, John gives a stellar performance. Dave and Fitz also go ahead and hypnotize Ed to stop him from having too much sex. Ed is later seen avoiding and turning down sexual advances from women the next day. While at the competition, Reed retains his position at first place, with John finishing close behind him at second place, once again. Later, Dave is seen talking to Paulette at the cafeteria. Reed walks in and they talk about Paulette's twin sister, who Reed doesn't seem to know about. Fitz, who has been admiring Paulette for a long time, uses this chance to talk to her after he lures Reed away from them with a fake announcement. Reed returns and walks in on them again. He is angry and a food fight begins at the cafeteria. A beautiful, sophisticated woman, Victoria, approaches John and commends his skills. She gives him her address for him to pay a visit. Fitz is later seen spying on Paulette as she dips into the hot tub, which must be too hot for her as she takes off her top to cool down. Fitz takes in this lovely sight of her exposed knockers, but she, however, sees him and smiles. Next, Mr. Bryce pays a visit to Dave in his teammates' room. He talks to them about their nonchalant and unacceptable behavior, and how he might have to take action against them. They, however, ignore Mr. Bryce's counsel, and plan to attend more parties. John visits the ravishing Victoria later that evening. He talks to her about a party his friends are throwing, and Victoria shows interest. She goes to change her clothes, but instead undresses and shows her own twin peaks in an effort to seduce John. Soon they are engaged in an exercise of two-person push-ups. Meanwhile, Dave and his teammates throw a party at Reed's and his teammates' workout room. Reed is disgusted and infuriated as he walks into the messy room, seeing it all scattered. Reed and his teammates plan to take revenge on Dave's team and vows to make them regret it. At the competition, Reed and his teammates begin to sabotage their rivals' games, resulting in a failure for Dave's team and a loss of their 4th place standing. Later, John is seen approaching Lori, and she gives him a cold attitude, but he insists on speaking to her. Victoria drives in on them and invites them to her party. John confronts Lori on why she's avoiding him even after they agreed there would be no strings attached. Lori walks away. Later that evening, Dave and his teammates, feeling defeated, agree to give up partying that night and instead opt to just hang out somewhere cool. Later at night, while Lori is asleep, Dave goes to hypnotize her to show John that she loves him and still cares for him. John goes to see Lori the next day, and she's suddenly much nicer to him, and they too end up rubbing their privates together. Dave and his friends later receive a notification to appear before the property's managers for disciplinary review. They appear before Mr. Bryce and Reed. While Dave is placed on a temporary suspension, the rest of his teammates, John, Ed, and Fitz, are expelled from the competition. John asks what they're going to do about this situation, and they scheme on how to crush their rivals by throwing a party at the competition. These guys sure like parties. While at the competition, Dave and his friends appear with a lot of balloons and alcohol, which disrupts the event. While Reed and his team confront Dave's team, Mr. Bryce offers them a deal to stop the party, and he'd allow them to participate in the competition. They happily accept the offer. While the competition progresses, they move to 4th place. They begin to sabotage Reed's team, which causes them to fail terribly. John is left with a chance to beat Reed's team by beating his time record. He, however, ties with Reed's time, and they are left to do a sudden death event to determine the winner. Reed is seen coming in first, and everyone thinks he's bound to win. However, John takes an unexpected route that is off limits and dangerous, allowing him to successfully pass Reed, winning the competition. Mr. Bryce approaches them, telling them that there is a new management for the mountain, and there would be radical changes. Dave, as usual, lets Mr. Bryce's counsel fall on deaf ears as he has his team scurry away chanting. Of course, they celebrate with a big party, while the beautiful Victoria introduces herself as the new owner of the mountains, which more than excites the team. Reed and his friends walk into the party and meet Dave, who offers them a drink and advises them to enjoy it. Reed, surprisingly, is all smiles. Dave further plants a kiss on Reed and they laugh it off. While John and Lori are seen making out, Paulette and Fitz are also seen getting close. Lastly, we see Victoria snuggle up next to a very happy Dave in the hot tub. And that's all for Ski School. Hopefully you've enjoyed this recap as much as we did. If you would like to look into other movies with us, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on. That way you won't miss a single video. Thanks for watching.